It is the Riots podcast.
Oh, happy Friday, everybody.
How you guys doing?
We are about ready. We'll do our podcast intro first. And then we're going to hop onto Facebook. So for you guys, you can watch it anytime you want to. But if you go to RadioU Riot, that's our Facebook page. You can catch our after show that we're doing today, where we're finally setting up Animal Crossing.
Yes, indeed. So I'm actually working on that right now. As you can no doubt imagine, it's not working.
It is, isn't it?
Yet.
Okay. I was going to say, don't say it's not. It is.
It will work eventually.
We didn't want to even set up yesterday because we were so confident that today would be just so simple.
Yeah, it should be. It should be fine.
Well, in this podcast, you'll get enough to keep you busy, and then afterwards, head over to our Facebook page.
It's possible that perhaps I'm overloading the USB bus.
You think so?
Yeah, we'll try something else. So, all right, in today's podcast, we've got sobriety, camera crews, McDonald's, forgetfulness, Nikki's button. Let's see, HBO Max, NBA, SpaceX, dinosaurs, space dinosaurs, minimalist shoes. I've got them. And racial justice donations.
There you go.
That should wrap it up.
So enjoy the podcast today. Feel free to text and say hello, 877 to RadioU. Put you're a podcast listener, or when you're on our Facebook page, just message us and say hello there.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Not only are you already awake, but you're listening to The Riot? Your day is off to a pretty rough start. The Riot on RadioU.
I will never do this, but I would like to. I would like to hire a documentary film crew, or maybe just scatter some cameras around for my morning routine.
Yeah, to kind of get a look at your life in the morning.
Yeah, because I think it might just involve a lot of me just standing and staring, and I don't know that. Meaning that, I don't think that's what happens, but I think it is happening.
Sure.
I just don't think it's happening.
Do you feel like you're shuffling around, not really focused towards one thing or the other?
I don't know. I just know that twice this morning as I was like looking around, I got up on time and I would look at the clock and be like, wait, what?
Where did it all go?
Huh? That's not right. And then till it finally got down to, I left my house so late.
Aww.
So late. It was like, why did I do this? I don't understand. It's like, I don't know. Why don't we sit here and think about it for a while?
Which might be the actual problem.
Let's not do that.
Did you stop and think about it any other time?
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
I may have been thinking about it and didn't know I was thinking about it.
Sure, the whole time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a distinct possibility.
But why does he wear a GoPro or a camera on himself every day? It's like, well, he needs to look back and see where he went wrong.
Trying to get just a look at what's happening, that's all. That's all I'm trying to do. Just trying to understand it.
I don't think anybody wants to do that. We'll just be disappointed in ourselves.
I feel like there's a better than average chance of experiencing some disappointment in the middle.
But you made it.
I mean, to be clear, I made it. So it's not all bad, but I think
could be worse.
There may have been significant pauses this morning that I don't remember.
Aww.
But it's fine.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So I have two friends that over the course of the last month, I've seen them posting about the fact that they've spent 1 year, like they've hit their 1 year sobriety mark, that they've been alcohol free for a year. And it's interesting in talking to one of them I've talked to, one of them I have not. But the one I talked to, he would basically tell you like, hey, I don't think I was exactly an alcoholic, but I was kind of teetering on the edge. Like I was drinking more than I should, et cetera, et cetera. And what was interesting in talking to them is the idea that something can be, let's say it's not wrong. Like it's not wrong. It's not this, it's not that. But it's still causing you a problem. And it was interesting. He was telling me how, like, in his relationship with God, God started talking to him and saying, like, hey, this is a problem and it needs to stop. And so he would kind of argue with God, like, well, technically, blah, 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 blah. And God was just like, look, you need to stop. And I don't know what's going on in your life. I'm not here to necessarily, I don't have a list that I'm going to hand you where I'm just going to be like, look, these are all the things you should stop. If you stop doing these things, everything will be fine. I've got something that's next level from that. You should just talk to God about your life and just say, God, what is it? Like, is there some stuff going on here that needs to be adjusted? Am I not getting it right? And you know what? There might be. God might look at you and be like, no, you're good. But I can tell you, for me, like, it seems like there's always something. Like, there's always a little something where it's like, I could probably do a little better over here. Now, the other side of that is Jesus doesn't want to beat you up. Jesus was not after my friends who were borderline alcoholics because he's a killjoy and he hates them and he wanted to make them feel bad. No, they will tell you, like, I had this thing that Jesus helped me.
They were unhappy.
Like, I was unhappy. I didn't want to face it. God helped me face it. And my life is better now as a result. So look, again, I'm not trying to put pressure on you. I'm absolutely not looking down on you. But I am telling you that change can happen and things can be better because you changed. You could invite Jesus into your life and ask him to help you. Now, you might need to invite Jesus into your life, and then he shows you a group of people that you go and meet with that help you. I don't know. But you know what? Your first step is saying, Jesus, I need help. Why not take it right now? Just say, Jesus, I need that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I know there's probably some things that I need to change. Could you show me a better way to live? It's a great place to start. And remember, God has no interest in making you feel bad or beating up on you. He actually loves you so much that he wants to show you a better way to do things. And I could use that.
Maybe the Riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the Riot on RadioU.
So I feel like in the middle of this pandemic and all the things that are going on, there's a strong and I think brave choice that could be made. And it looks like they're not making it. But they had to stop making the Avatar sequels.
They had to pause on that?
They did.
Like, are they making 2 or 3? Or
They're
4
making
or 5?
3, maybe 4.
Maybe 4 of them.
And I just find myself going, you know what, guys? The brave choice is the right choice, which is to say, we went back and watched Avatar.
And we're sorry.
And we're sorry we made it. And no, we're not going to do this. Now, they wouldn't say it that way. They would come out and say that they feel the artistic vision of the original film was too strong to water it down with sequels. And that's fine, too.
How are they still filming it, though? It feels like it's been years.
Because if you're filming 4 movies at once.
I guess. It's too much, too long.
It's going to be insufferable.
But they were talking about how they're going back to filming now.
Yeah. They are. I mean, and they sent some photos of the sets. I mean, I'll tell you, the sets look cool, but the sets on the first movie look cool.
That's not the problem we had.
I don't like Avatar. I didn't, and I don't.
But Papyrus, what are you talking about? Now that you like.
That's probably one of the single greatest things that mankind's ever produced.
It's an SNL sketch. It's an old one.
You just look it up. Avatar Papyrus. And it's got...
It's better than the movie.
So much better. It's so much better. It's got Ryan
Reynolds.
No, it's not Ryan Reynolds. Gosling.
Ryan Gosling, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I watch it all the time, which is really weird.
This old Santa one, too. And
that
those
one, too.
The best.
Ryan Gosling on SNL. Now, that's something that we can make 4 or 5 of, and I think would be okay.
So, the filming has restarted for Avatars 2, 3, 4, 5, and whatever else they have.
And 14.
And 14 and 15.
And you know what really bothers me? Do you know where they're filming?
New Zealand?
Yeah.
That already had a thing.
They're filming down there in Middle Earth. Not allowed. No. That's where the hobbits live. And you're not going to put any hobbits in your Blue People movie, are you? Nope, you're not. So, man.
How could they sell out to them like that?
You know what real talk? Like, this is going to star Sam Worthington, right? You don't even know who that is. You're like, who's Sam Worthington? He was the main guy in Avatar who had like a huge career for like 2 years based on Avatar, and then woo!
Well, now he doesn't have anything else because he's still filming.
That's what I was wondering. You will have gone from, I don't know who Sam Worthington is, to a $300 million Sam Worthington movie for like 5 years running. What is going on? It's
too
fine.
much.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Well, friends, it looks like we can go to the movies starting next week.
So this is for Ohio. But
so
it
not
depends,
everybody.
Depends on which state. Some states have been able to. Some states can't. It just depends on where you're at.
Man, Ohio actually came out with a huge list of things yesterday that they're going to open starting on June 10th. Aquariums, art galleries. The aquariums one gets me. Because do
we have aquariums?
We do. And some people are going to be so excited.
I always think of, there's this one in Gatlinburg called the Ripley's one.
Yep.
It's like, that's the only aquarium I've been to.
Yep. So I've been there.
Yep.
Art galleries. So that'll be big. Country clubs, ice skating rinks, indoor family entertainment centers.
What's that you mean?
Does that mean like you can get in the ball pit?
Probably.
Laser tag facilities, movie theaters, indoor, museums. Playgrounds.
Oh, those.
So maybe that means all that scary police tape comes down from the playground now?
I try to go walk in the parks recently. People ripped those caution tapes off a long time ago.
Public recreation centers, roller skating rinks, social clubs, trampoline parks, zoos.
There it is.
That's all going to open back up June 10th. Now, that's just Ohio, so that doesn't mean everybody listening to Radio U right now. You have to check with your local state. But it does mean that, some of us could go to the movies.
But we talked about, or at least I was asking Obi, AMC came out with this big thing yesterday that they're not sure they can recover. It was like billions of dollars that they lost out during the last couple of months, so they've had to be closed down. There's no big major releases. Those have been pushed off until, I would say, maybe middle of July. So are movie theaters going to open? And if so, what are they going to open with? Because AMC, it doesn't mean for us next week that AMC theaters would be open.
Right. No. It depends on the theaters themselves. In fact, the only listing Nikki and I could find was on June 28th.
A Blues Brothers thing for at least the one that we go to.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean things won't change by next week.
Sure.
But it's like there is no more releases. And a lot of the releases that ended up in theaters right before the stay-at-home. I know some still, like, drive-in theaters are showing those.
Sure.
Most of those are already out to where you can just watch them anyways.
I know.
So they can't just put Onward back in there, so...
Well, they can.
Well, and that might be what they try to, but I mean, like, that's already free if you have Disney Plus.
I think, and I mean, again, as I'm not a theater owner, so I don't know, but what would draw me back is if they did like a run of classic movies. That's what... It's been a while
very
ago.
Cheap.
Right. There was a theater that opened, this has been a few years ago, but their first 2 weeks, they ran movies from like actually just every decade you could imagine. And you could go see all of these old movies, on the big screen, which, not as big of a deal, I suppose, with the big screen TV, but still very cool.
I mean, they
get a chance to see it in a theater.
They'll fill up the time with that until you'll actually get, what's the one that is coming out in July? The Tenet one? Is that it?
Oh, yeah, the Christopher Nolan one. That's late July.
Yeah.
That's all you guys, whatever, just get everything ready for that.
Just make sure it's all working fine by then.
That's where I'm headed, is I'm going to see that.
So it's nice that it's like, oh, great, movie theaters are opening, but what will be there?
This Blues Brothers thing, if it had hit before I got that 4K Blu-ray, I might have gone.
Oh, you won't go?
I don't know. I mean, I've never seen it in the theater. It's too old for that. So maybe. That was like when I went to see that Star Trek movie 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd never seen it in the theater, so it was cool to get to see it in an actual theater.
Well, at least at the one, they're showing it on a Sunday, and that's like napping day, so I don't know.
It's Sunday at 1, and it's like...
that's right when I'm relaxing.
It's like $5,
Do I get a free popcorn?
You might.
That'll lure us back.
Did you see this thing here where they're running a thing where you can get free popcorn this weekend if you drive by? You can go get some popcorn.
I could do that.
We would give the riot flowers to show our appreciation, but Obadiah's probably allergic. What isn't he allergic to? This is the riot on Radio U.
So, McDonald's, they've finally done the right thing. And they think they have. They seem like maybe they're going to keep doing the right thing from here on out.
I didn't catch this. I mean, I knew they changed their menu, but I didn't catch how well they were doing during the pandemic. But basically, at the beginning of the stay-at-home for most places in the United States, obviously McDonald's, they closed down all their in McDonald's dining.
Yes.
So you couldn't go in, but you could still go through the drive-thru.
And I couldn't tell you the last time I went. Actually, I could. It was like 5 years ago. I was doing some public speaking on a weekend, and I got up early and went there because I could just keep getting refills on a soda as I prepared.
Oh, so you went inside?
Yep. That's the last time I ate in at a McDonald's.
Otherwise, people still go in and eat. They must because they have them.
They do.
But this has changed McDonald's thinking on what should they be doing to get your money.
I don't think that's how they want you to say it.
Are you sure? I think it was.
What they should be doing to better serve their customers.
Okay, if you want to say it like that.
I think that's the phrasing
that
we're looking for.
What do they want to know what you actually want as a customer when you go through there. It is.
It's a little better.
For a lot of places, they had to close down, or the pickup or the drive-through maybe did not do as well for them during the stay-at-home. But for McDonald's, they say most of their locations have made more money than they would have last year when they actually had the in-house eating option available because their drive-through has gone so well.
Yeah, so some of the things that they have done in addition to that, like kind of revamping the drive-throughs, they limited their menu.
They did.
And so they took the salads out. Good job. Yeah, come on.
Anything that was signature. So no signature crafted hamburgers, no grilled chicken sandwiches, no chicken tenders.
And no all-day breakfast.
They got rid of the all-day breakfast. And they said because they took those things off the menu, the drive-thru experience became faster.
Sure.
And that's the number one thing that most people want that keeps bringing them back is how fast can McDonald's get their food to you?
Sure. And you know what? I don't know that I've had McDonald's for lunch in this entire thing, lunch or dinner. Like I haven't done that in a long time. But hey, like for me, if I'm going to McDonald's, I'm not there for a salad. Now, I will make a salad. I will eat salad. I don't dislike. I'm very picky about it, but I will eat salad. But the idea that I'm at McDonald's for salad, no. I'm there for chicken McNuggets or like a breakfast sandwich. I don't have any illusions about what's going on there. I know what we're here for.
So the news, though, that they gave is that because the drive-thru is doing so well with getting food out so fast, that they're not sure they're actually going to bring any of those menu items back. Okay. So if even when things open up and return to complete normal, you might not see the salads ever come back.
You know what? Good.
So if you were like, but wait, I really wanted the grilled chicken, it's going to change how their menus look from now on.
Yeah. I think the idea of them just chucking salad and who gets chicken fingers at McDonald's?
Oh, I think they were trying.
That good. That's the thing is that they're not that good. Like if I wanted chicken fingers, I'd go to Cane's. If I wanted salad, I would go home. Actually, I like the salad I make at home better than I can get at a store. And if I wanted a signature burger, also definitely not McDonald's.
Well, Melissa said she might miss the salad, but I'm sorry, Melissa. It does not look, at least as far as they're talking right now, that it would be worth it for them to add those items back to the menu because it's gone so well for them.
Yeah. All right, McDonald's. Call me. I got some other suggestions, too. Bring back pizza.
No. We've never had a pizza from McDonald's.
No, that one McDonald's in Southern Ohio.
You never had it, though, did you?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Pomeroy. I've eaten at that McDonald's.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I just had to remind somebody of something. Do you know that the irony, I don't know if you guys can truly understand it.
They might not understand this side of you.
I don't remember anything. Now, you might listen to the show and be like, he remembers everything.
Like all the movie quotes that you know.
And I don't. I only remember things like that. But when it comes to like average day-to-day life, like don't forget the blank,
even if the blank is right there, not to be forgotten.
It's in your hand. You're holding it.
We'll still forget it.
Don't worry.
Oh,
I won't bring it.
I think you're getting better at it.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
But
and it absolutely shows.
I forget a lot. And it's
you
not.
You did forget a lot.
You know what? It's not because I want to. He
just doesn't care.
Kinda, but not in a bad way.
Not in a mean way.
Is it possible to not care and it not be mean?
They'll take it in a mean way, but it's totally not about that.
It's innocent. I just forget. And you're like, how do you forget? Oh, I do. You know how people are good at things? Like, I'm good at that. I'm good at forgetting.
It's fine.
I'm good at leaving the obvious thing out. That's my gifting.
But you are a changed person.
Oh, yeah. I just had to send a text message to remind somebody of something, and I'm just like, oh.
Now you know what it was like for everybody else.
I know. They're just like, it's like, this is what people have done to you for just years. And it's a shame.
The feeling of I don't want to bother, but we can't forget.
To say something about it, because if I don't, I know he's going to forget.
We're going to miss it.
And then you'll get miffed, like, what do you think I was going to forget? I never forget. But like, actually, you always forget. That's why we're texting you now.
Aww.
And so it's fine. I'm doing great.
Well, you're doing much better.
I'm glad I bought that planner back in,
He brought a physical planner that you carry around to remember things, and like, especially for meetings and notes and stuff. Do you still carry it? Is it in your bag?
It was in my bag. It's not now. But
you've forgotten the planner?
No. It's just that, once I bought it in the first week of March, when we got to the third week.
Well, then we were just staying at home and you didn't have anything to put in there.
Nothing to put in there.
Maybe that's why you're better at remembering things now, because you went way back to where you had nothing to have to remember.
Maybe that's it.
You just had to come to work and that was it.
So, guys, don't lay anything heavy on me.
You're not ready to go back to having a lot of pressure with that.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
I want to spend some time inside watching people outside.
Yeah.
I want to watch some college football. But here's something that's not great. Did you see the announcement /report /something yesterday about Alabama?
No, what is it?
5 of their players have tested positive for the coronavirus.
That doesn't look good.
But guess what that means?
What does that mean?
That was after they had come back for what I believe was a voluntary practice, voluntary off-season workouts.
Oh, so they were around everybody?
50 people.
No, really?
Yep.
Aw, we're never going to get college back. We're never going to get it back if it goes like this. This is the wrong way to do it.
So June 8th is when they were going to start voluntary off-season workouts. Mm-hmm. But, man, you know what? I don't know.
So they're not identifying the 5 players that tested positive. You're not allowed to do that. But many more could be subject to quarantine because about 50 players were gathered on Wednesday. So that's the problem.
And the sick ones were there.
So with most other sporting things, with sports coming back, like with the NBA and then golf and a few others, they almost treat it like if you want to start voluntarily doing it, you need to quarantine beforehand before you get into stuff. And I don't know if they made them do that.
I think the reason they got found out was that when everybody showed up, they all got a test.
Uh-huh.
And so then...
But they should have had a test...
Before,
like the 2 weeks before, to then be allowed to come in and play.
Right. Unfortunately, life does not always allow for...
that.
Perfect circumstances.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of what we've been through already was so...
So the
draconian.
the SEC had announced last month that teams could come in to do voluntary off-season workouts, and that was supposed to start on June 8th. But they were supposed to be proper procedures that
preventing
the schools,
poor performance.
Yeah, that the schools would have to take with players who test positive.
All right. Well,
that's a lot of P's there.
It is a lot of P's. More than 5.
So they have to be screened before you get on campus within 72 hours of actually entering the workout facilities. And then you'd have to be looked at every day based on your athletic activities.
Well, they got a problem.
Yeah, it's not good.
And that highlights a problem that all athletics are going to have.
So multiple players for Oklahoma State also tested positive this week. Iowa State announced its first positive test within its athletic department as well, and they brought that up on Wednesday.
Be interesting to see. Dumb statement, but it's interesting to see where this goes. Like
I
what?
was always very curious because, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but we all know it's true. There's so much money in college football that they're going to do whatever it takes to make something happen this fall.
Yeah.
So if this wasn't football, like if this wasn't college football, I wonder, would you see more like, well, that's it. We're not doing it. But because it is what it is anything going to be swept under?
Like,
or are they, like, what do you think they're going to do? They're not going to just make this a bigger thing.
Let me ask you, like, what are you seeing coming out of the lacrosse teams right now?
We're not seeing any news yet.
Oh, really?
I don't know. We're not in lacrosse stuff. Maybe it's the same. Maybe it's the same problem that they have with college football, but we just don't know it.
What have we heard about the water polo team?
Well, nothing. The chlorine will take care of all that stuff. You're pretty safe.
So apparently it does have something to do with the money.
I think it does.
So it's probably my money.
Again, not a mean thing, but we know how college football goes.
I'm silently complicit. I want them to play.
I know you do. We want them to be safe, though, too.
I don't want anybody to get hurt. If that means that I just got to sit at home and play Cyberpunk this fall instead of watching football, okay, I will.
I don't think. They'll bring you something.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the worst of the Riot podcast.
My mic is going bad.
It's just the button.
No, I think it's below the button.
Oh, wait, do you mean it's the board?
I think it's that. I think something is going on. The problem is, whenever something goes wrong, if we tell Chris, no one ever believes it. But if you guys all stood up with me and said, hey, Nikki's mic is going bad.
Everybody meet us at the studio at noon that just heard that.
I mean, it's been like this.
Be here. We got to talk to Chris.
I'd probably say the last couple of weeks I've been noticing something's going wrong with it, but it's not enough to present a case yet.
Well, I wasn't planning on it, but maybe this is a good time to mention the fundraiser.
I know. It's like, will you please help support so that my button can be fixed for whatever's going wrong?
Most people are tired of their buttons being pushed. Not Nikki.
No, need it.
Nikki wishes that the button would get pushed.
I need it to make this all happen with Obi.
So why don't you go ahead and, well, in a couple of weeks we're going to do it. Normally we do a spring fundraiser. We didn't.
Yeah.
So we're going to do what I'm calling the diet fundraiser.
It's only 4 days.
It's
super, super quick, but it is what's needed to get us through, not only for my microphone, but for just RadioU in general to be on during the rest of the summer to get to the fall when we normally have another one.
Right. So go ahead and get in now if you want to. RadioU.com. You click on donate. Hey, in a couple of minutes, Nikki says she's leaving HBO Max because
ready.
she can't commit to anything.
I can. I just need to get something in. Like, there's nothing there for me.
Okay.
It's not a good fit. It's me. It's not them.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what, Nikki? It's fine. As long as you're giving Nikki what she needs, she'll stick around. But the second you fail her...
I'm paying for it. I don't want to pay.
Okay.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's The Riot on RadioU.
HBO Max. He's my new friend. I never talk to him. I just give him money.
That's about it.
It's a great relationship we have. It's like the gym.
Has it been 2 weeks, 3 weeks since it came out? 1 week?
No, May 29th, 27th. I think it's been a week.
Are you sure? No, it has to be more than that.
Because when you signed up for it, they gave you HBO Now for like 2 weeks. And so that's why it seems like it's been longer than that. But actual HBO Max, I'm fairly certain has been out for a week.
Well, it feels a lot longer than that.
Well, it's been a long week.
It's been a very long week.
A lot going on. So Nikki says she's ready to jump ship.
I just haven't found anything. I mean, I maybe watched 2 things on it, and that was it.
Man, I don't know. Anytime I get free time, I play video games. I never watch TV.
So are you going to keep it or what?
There are several things on there that I like to plan to watch.
So is that a yes or...
I don't know what it means.
It is what it is.
I like to plan to watch.
I know, and I have a couple of things that I wanted to watch too, but who's going to get into it?
Now, we don't know what it is that HBO would say, but according to Parrot Analytics, they're a company that will often release streaming statistics, and companies don't often come out and give the answer to like, oh yeah, this is our more people watched this, et cetera, et cetera. But they say at Parrot Analytics that the most popular things that are being watched right now on HBO Max are the Looney Tunes cartoons.
Looney Tunes? Not Friends?
Nope. They say it's more popular than Friends, The Sopranos, or Game of Thrones. That people are watching Looney Tunes.
All right. Do they think it's like kids watching Looney Tunes, or that's just what we're all watching right now?
They say
which is fine.
They say it's a mixture. But that Looney Tunes is currently the most watched thing on HBO Max, according to Parrot Analytics. I don't know what HBO would say about that.
So specifically, this is the latest iteration of Looney Tunes, though, where the characters and plot lines have been updated to reflect a more modern era.
So
is there like old ones, and these are not the oldest? These are the more recent ones.
Well, yeah, there are if you look, they have some of the classic ones. I didn't know that the updated one was actually there.
Yeah, I think it is. That's the one they're talking about.
I didn't think that it was out yet. I thought they were talking about the classic one.
Do you know what the second most popular program on HBO Max is?
No.
Not Friends, again. Not Game of Thrones. Not any of that stuff. But the Not Too Late Show with Elmo.
Yeah, come on.
So is it only kids watching HBO Max? We don't have time. We can't add another streaming service.
I guess it just goes to show you that...
Interesting.
We just don't have time to watch.
Maybe.
Or maybe we don't care about Friends. I don't know. All right, look, I'm looking at the new Looney Tunes. It looks like really old Looney Tunes.
Well, maybe they went through and just changed or like only gave you certain ones.
All right. Well, whatever. It's the big one. Man, this one's 6 minutes long. Okay.
They're wondering.
Sorry, I really got lost in that for a second, guys, because I'm just like, what? Huh?
What HBO is kind of wondering, though, is they're wondering, they expected HBO shows to be like the highlight of HBO Max. And they're wondering and worried that the HBO side of things might be the actual flopping part of HBO Max.
So the other stuff is what people like.
Exactly. And they thought, no, it'd be reverse. HBO shows what would draw people to buy the service.
Look, I'm sorry. I know that this is very judgmental, but I think HBO shows are normally pretty stank. They just are. I don't like them. I'm not interested. They're always just like, well, we're going to put a real adult spin on this. I'm good. Like, whatever. But then again, I said it already. I don't know. I go in phases where I'll watch a bunch of TV and I won't. But right now, anytime I get some free time, I'm playing Forza Horizon 4. Racing them fake cars like a moron.
You're back to that game?
Oh, yeah. So if I could do it right now, that's what I'd be doing. Drinking coffee, racing fake cars.
Eating donuts.
Yes.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Many people talking about Space Force these days. I want you to know that there is a space hero that may not have received all of the coverage that he deserves.
Well, now he is.
Let me get down. Tremor the Apatosaurus. He left Earth along with the astronauts on the SpaceX rockets.
When you watch the Dragon stuff go up, and then I remember I was watching and I thought, well, what is that next to the guy? And I don't remember if it floated by or if it just came into view when
it might have.
When they got there.
They were using it as a zero gravity indicator.
It was just
when it left the seat, that was a sign like, okay, we've entered zero G.
Because I was just looking, I'm like, why is there this sparkly, amazing looking dinosaur thing? And people noticed it and they were like, where can we get one of these?
Yeah, well, you know what? It belonged to a son of one of the astronauts. Mm-hmm. And I just want you to know that it was a tie, or do you call it TY?
Oh, like
it's basically a Beanie Baby.
Yeah.
And it was a flippable so that the sequins go back and forth. You've seen it. He's 6 inches tall, blue, pink reversible sequins. His name is Tremor, and good luck finding him anywhere.
Good luck getting that and a Switch. The two things you want, just to comfort and make things better, you can't have.
Complete side note.
Yeah.
I just want you to know I've had people reaching out asking if you were selling your Switch.
Oh, me?
Because they're just like, wait.
Can I please just get one? I'll buy hers.
Can I get a line on that Switch? What are you doing with it?
I'm not selling it.
Yeah, I let
But
them
I
know.
might trade you for one of these little dinosaur plushie things.
No way. No way.
So good luck. If you want it, you're going to have to pay premium price.
I just love the fact that as human beings, product placement works on us. Mm-hmm. It works. I mean, we watch a TV show and one of the characters gets out a phone and you're like, I have to have that phone. But you haven't. No, that one. I have to drive that car. I have to whatever. And now we're down to, I saw two astronauts in space and one of them had a sparkly dinosaur. I have to have that sparkly dinosaur.
I need it now.
Get it over here.
It's just what I have to have.
Tremor sits with me.
It's so cute.
He's my Tremor.
So, yeah, it's a flippable Tremor dinosaur.
Yep. So, and I'll just tell you this right now. If you have one, he is flippable, if you know what I'm saying. Get him
the
listed.
other way?
Get
he
him.
didn't do anything. Why are you selling them, though? Let's see what it's going for on
Nikki,
Amazon.
Why do you flip anything? To make
that's right.
money.
Let's see. There's a medium size. Well, you can get that's not the real one. Those are not.
What do you mean?
Well, when you go to Amazon, there's a crunch one. There's other ones. This is not it. These I think are fake.
You think so?
I think so. They're going for like $15.
Yeah, that's not real.
They're not real. And they just look slightly off in the body size.
Like one of his eyes is just a little bigger.
Yeah, but I will tell you there's a lot of sequence flippable like dinosaur stuff you can get because they know everybody's looking for them.
Mm-hmm. So just be aware.
They assume that if you get one for someone, like a gift, they wouldn't know that it wasn't the actual company's one.
That's like the time I bought a friend of mine I was like in New York and I just bought everybody really cheap souvenirs from like a street vendor and I brought it back and she was like, this isn't real. I was like, what? She's like, you bought this from a street vendor. I was like, yeah, I bought everybody's.
That's what you do in New York.
I was like, that's like everybody going. She's like, yeah, okay, thanks. So I just want you to know, like,
well, don't get one of these then.
That person in your life, you toss this out and they're like, yeah, this isn't really flippable or Tremor.
This isn't the real one.
This is Tremors with a Z. It's not the same.
The Riot Radio U.
So, how important to you is the NBA? Would you say it's very important? Somewhat important? Important? Not very important? Or I don't care about the NBA?
So if you were to fill in a bubble for one of those, which one is it?
And your last bubble is, what is the NBA?
I think even if you're not an NBA fan, this leads the way to the NFL or to other sports as everybody tries to figure out how things will come back and what will it actually look like.
So there was a question as to whether this was actually going to happen, and it looks like it has gone from discussion stages to, yes, this is happening.
The Board of Governors approved it, so that's why it's like, yes.
There are things that still need to happen. They do not have a coronavirus testing plan in place yet. So they're working on that. And when they get that in place, figure it out,
then it'll be confirmed for good?
Then the NBA is back, kind of.
So the Board of Governors approved the 22-team. It's a late July restart, which will be at ESPN Sports Complex, which is in Orlando. Mm-hmm. And then that would be where the 22 teams play locally there.
Yeah.
I don't think there would be any crowd. I assume it'd be televised. Mm-hmm. And then from there, that would lead to the top teams to do a playoffs.
So the other thing I saw is that Major League Soccer is talking about coming back and only playing in Orlando.
It's probably at the ESPN stuff, too. I'm sure they're paying a lot of money for that.
What does Orlando have that's so great?
The complex. Have you ever driven by it?
I built it.
Well, that's why a lot of spring training stuff like it. It'll be good weather. It'll be super hot with a chance of showers in the afternoon.
Don't
it's
talk
terrible.
to me about good weather in Orlando in July and August.
I'm sure it's inside.
That is like the worst thing you could do.
It could handle it. It would handle all the sports, and then it would have one testing setup and system. So I'm sure it makes sense when you think about it. But it'll be approved by the Players Association as they vote today on it. So that's that.
All right.
And not all teams, I don't think, are included in this.
Well, remember, it's not the entire league. They're going to be playing a shortened season with the goal of basically moving almost immediately into the playoffs, as I understand it.
There it is. So it's, the ESPN, which is Disney. It's their campus in Florida.
And it's like, how do they afford that? They just go down to the money printer and hand some out. No big deal.
So the format would be each team would play 8 games that would determine the playoff seeding, plus the utilization of a play-in tournament for the final spot for the Eastern Conference and Western Conference postseason fields.
Mm-hmm. So NBA fans, yay. I saw a lot of people that are like, hey, if the NBA can do it, so can baseball. Come on, baseball. Good luck out there.
People always think baseball will fix everything.
They do.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, would you be willing to touch my shoes?
Yeah, I can touch your shoes.
Okay, but don't worry, they're
Is it your new ones? Yeah, let me see what they feel like.
Yeah, I wore them for about 30 seconds yesterday just to make sure they fit. But
I thought, is it not good?
No,
they're not bad.
They seem okay, right? We had someone text us a couple days ago. I was talking about needing new shoes, and they were like, listen, you have to get these. They're cheap, but they're so good. They're on Amazon, and they're made by a company called Tesla, but they have to spell it legally, TSLA.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
Now, I will say they feel...
cheap?
Yeah, kind of.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they feel
Say
cheaper.
Yeah, that's okay.
Not in a negative way, though. They just don't feel as extra ultra comfy as maybe some other brands.
Well, I will tell you, as someone that used to wear
they don't feel junky, though.
Right. I had Vibrams. Now, I didn't just wear them around, but I wore them in the gym. And that were the Vibram 5 Fingers were those shoes that there was like a place for each toe.
It was like a croc with toes.
I loved those things. They were the dumbest looking shoes.
But you only liked them for lifting. You didn't like them for like shoes, right?
No, I didn't wear them around. But I will tell you, for lifting, they were nearly impossible to
You might like those, and they do feel a lot like it.
They feel
lightweight.
Nearly the same, except they don't have, the broken out toes. It's just like it looks like a kind of regular shoe. But it's a completely minimalist heel. There's almost nothing there. But
I love how they put nothing there. It's like, that's not cheap, that's minimalist.
Well, Nikki.
It's true.
That's how it works. So I actually thought I'd just slide these on now and wear them around a little bit here in the studio. And then I've got, I'll go to the gym later today.
So you like them, though? As of right now?
I think so. The only thing that I think is weird about them is I'm not going to not wear socks with them, but like my white socks sticking out above these shoes, I feel like looks kind of funny.
If you just get the lower socks, you'll be fine.
I have low socks.
Lower than that.
Lower than that?
Yeah.
Like it's low.
They just go over your toes and your heels. That's it. Not even your full things.
I'm not wearing that.
You don't want those?
Just whatever. You know what? At the end of the day, what do I care?
No, you'll be fine.
What are you looking at?
You'll be fine. They look good, though. They're nice and red. I like them.
Yeah. This and like a weird green was the only color in my size they had left. So for $30,
not bad. Give them a try.
Yeah, like especially if I'm just going to wear them in the weight room. If I wear these in the weight room, then Nikki, these beauties right here,
your other shoes,
they could have another year in them.
You need to get another pair of day shoes. Please get another pair of day shoes.
Look how the shoe pops up there at the end. You guys can't see it, but the toes point upward.
They're flattened down so much.
Never has it. Well, I mean, shoes have been beaten worse, but I've had those. I'm coming up in mid-July. I'll have had them for 3 years.
Yeah, and they are. Yeah, they are starting to look like it. They are starting to look.
Don't you listen to her.
She's just jealous.
Beauty. She wishes she handled the mileage like you.
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported RadioU.
AMC Networks, along with a lot of other companies out there, are making donations towards various, they're calling them racial justice donations. And so you'll see companies are like giving money to Black Lives Matter or to the NAACP or all these different places. Well, I thought this was actually a really interesting idea. AMC, and those are like the Walking Dead people, they have reached out to their employees and said, okay, what are organizations that you're aware of that you work with or that you volunteer for or whatever? We want you to register that organization with us, and we'll give them $1,000.
So do they always give $1,000 or do they match? Because if you didn't know, if you work for a larger company, a lot of them will actually match your donations to nonprofits.
Also true.
So is this just $1,000?
This is not a matching thing for them. This is, you tell us about a racial justice organization that you're a part of, and we will donate $1,000. Now, just to be clear, they're not saying that to the entire world. They're just saying that to the people that work there. But I thought it was an interesting take on the donation process, because up until now, a lot of companies that I've been seeing are just giving to really
the larger ones.
Yeah, larger organizations. And that was kind of their point. They're like, look, there are some really well-known organizations, but there are smaller ones out there that many people are not aware of that we would like to support some of those smaller organizations out there.
So now this is not their first time doing this.
Oh, really?
They did this. They gave their full-time employees earlier this year $1,000 apiece to donate to a coronavirus-related relief effort.
Okay.
So that was something that they did earlier this year, and that did so well.
I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like as a company to say, hey, we're going to give, but we're going to let you decide where that money is going to go as a part of the organization.
And then they gave yesterday their employees the day off for their day of reflection.
Yeah. So that was when they were supposed to, I think, register
find the place to donate
their place
to.
They wanted to donate. So a really interesting combination of ways to do that, because if the employee didn't know, it would force them to go out and look and see what was an organization that they felt like deserved their money, even though, quote unquote, it's not their money, it's the company's. But it's interesting.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
Sir, with a mortality rate that's more like 2% and currently looking at the number of cases in the United States,
they're not going
we
to.
feel that you're perfectly safe in coming to AMC theaters to enjoy up to 3 films a week.